I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, Get her for me, for she pleaseth me well. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord that he sought an occasion against the Philistines. For at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel.
Rulership.
Then went Samson down, and his father and his mother, to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath, and behold, a young lion roared against him. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him.
Right, so that's what it's always about, the Spirit of the Lord.
And he rent him as he would have rent a kid.
Right, so the Lord can put a spirit on you to make you strong like you Hancock. And that's what we're giving y'all an example of. Just like we had Joshua and them back in the days with them ancient renowned bodies, the Lord put a spirit on us to give us that strength back. And we're going to give you an example of our foreparents with that strength. Go ahead.
And he had nothing in his hand.
Right, so he ripped a lion in half like it was a kid, a young lion.
But he told not his father or his mother what he had done. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well.
All right. Now let's go to 15 and 14.
Judges chapter 15, verse 14. And when he came unto Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him.
Right. It's always what? Spirit of the Lord. The Lord give out this spirit.
And the cords that were upon his arms.
The cord, which was the iron, that's what the cord mean. Cord mean iron, like shackles.
And the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire.
Right, meaning just bing.
And his bands loosed from off his hands.
Right.
And he found a new jawbone of an ass.
Right, so he got an ass jawbone. Let's see what he do with it.
And put forth his hand, and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith.
1,000 men with a jawbone. Not with a sword, a jawbone.
And Samson said, With the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men.
Exactly. Okay, that's it. Another example of the Spirit of the Lord. Let's keep rolling the Spirit of the Lord on. 2 Samuel 1 and 23. Samuel 1 and 23 to 27.
2 Samuel chapter 1, verse 23. Saul and Jonathan were lovely and pleasant in their lives.
Right. Saul, the king of Israel, the first king, and Jonathan, his son, they was what?
Pleasant in their lives.
They was pleasant in their life. They was humble Israelite men from the tribe of Benjamin. We know our history.
And in their death, they were not divided.
Right, because they died around the same time.
They were swifter than eagles.
They were swifter than eagles.
They were stronger than lions.
They were stronger than lions. That's our people. That's what we go back to. That's the point. I just want to bring that out on the people. Okay, where we at? Which one would you read?
2 Samuel 1 and 23.
Okay, jump to 27.
Now this is verse 27. It says, How are the mighty fallen, and the weapons of war perished?
Right. We are the weapons of war. The Lord used us to be his weapons of war. So I'm going to get into that later. That's why we get the Spirit of the Lord put on us. Because what did it say about Samson? That the Lord let him do that because he was raising up. He had a controversy against the Philistines because they had our people in slavery. Right. So the Lord used his men to get busy on other nations. Okay, let's move on. 1 Samuel 17, 29.
1 Samuel chapter...
Make sure 17. Go one page back.
17. Say verse 17, right?
Yeah.
1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 17.
No, 17:29.
17:29. Select.
36.
And David said, What have I now done? Is there not a cause? And he turned from him toward another and spake after the same manner.
So this is King David when he was a young boy before he fought Goliath. History of our second king. You know about our first one, Saul and his son Jonathan. And let's see King David, what he working with. Keep going.
It says, and he turned from him toward another and spake after the same manner, and the people answered him again after the former manner. And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. And David said to Saul, Let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, Thou art not able to go against the Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth.
Right, he's saying you're a young boy. That's what King Saul telling King David. Telling the young boy David before he was anointed king, Salakia.
And he a man of war from his youth.
Right, but the Philistine Goliath was a man of war from his youth. Go ahead.
And David said unto Saul, Thy servant kept his father's sheep.
Right, I was a sheep herder. He telling them I was a sheep herder, but.
And there came a lion.
But came a lion.
And a bear.
And a bear.
And took a lamb out of the flock.
Right, so I had two on. What'd he do?
And I went out after him.
Right.
And smote him.
I smote both of them. So I know if I can kill a lion and a bear, I can get this man. And I'm a young boy.
Right. And delivered it out of his mouth.
Right.
And when he arose against me,
right,
I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him.
Right, I killed the lion by his beard. He went to grab me, I grabbed him. Oh, hold on, cuz, what you doing? I'm showing the strength of our people.
Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them.
Exactly. So he had confidence in what he can do.
See, he hath defied the armies of the living God.
Yeah, exactly. The Israelites.
David said, Moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear,
Yahweh,
he will deliver me out of the hand of the Philistine. And Saul said unto David, Go, and the Lord be with thee.
Right. Okay, that's it. Where you at?
Verse 38.
Okay, that's it. Okay. 1 Samuel 16 and 7.
1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance.
Right, look not upon how a man look.
Or on the height of his stature.
Or how tall or broad his shoulders is.
I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance.
Right, see, man look to see how tall and strong and bulky a man muscles is.
But the Lord looketh on the heart.
Right, the Lord looketh within the mind. And the Lord chooses the mighty man, because he can put a spirit on you. So you don't know who the Lord mighty man is. Okay, Isaiah 41 and 14. Let's put that in.
Isaiah chapter 41, verse 14. Fear not.
No, who's that? No, you right there. I'm sorry.
Isaiah chapter 41, verse 14. Fear not, thou worm Jacob.
Yeah, thou worm Jacob. Because right now we're in a low state. So the Lord look at us as a worm right now. Because we can be killed with machine. Even though our foreparents go back to people who was able to rip lions in half, jump over tall buildings, fly, have the strength of, can kill 1,000 men. So that mean all these karate movies that they show, people killing 1,000 people and all that. And the 300, which I did a lesson on that with Leonidas earlier. So that proves right there that we can do all these things. But right now the Lord said we are worm, but
it says, I will help thee.
Right, and how the Lord going to help us?
Saith the Lord.
Because He's coming up to that day right now. And that's why we tell y'all we're going to spiritual power. Here you go. Go ahead.
And thy Redeemer.
Right. Yahweh.
the Holy One of Israel.
Go ahead.
Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth.
Right, I mean, he gonna give us that spiritual power. Go ahead.
Thou shalt thresh the mountains,
Right, we're gonna beat all the nations' heads in, the governments. They government.
and beat them small.
Right, so to do that to a tank, a helicopter, and a jet and all that, and the Humvees, you gotta be Iron Man.
Right.
So it's gonna be some real superistic shit going on around
And shall make the hills as chaff.
here. Right?
Thou shalt fan them,
Mhm.
and the wind shall carry them away.
Thermonuclear fire, Jeremiah 51 now. Let's roll. See if we can get this done before the camera goes.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. 51:19. Salakia. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them,
Right?
for he is the former of all things.
Right, we was talking about that earlier, remember? We got the form of all things.
Yeah.
Right?
And Israel is the rod of his inheritance.
Right?
The Lord of hosts is his name.
Yeah.
Thou art my battle axe
Right.
and weapons of war.
Which that's what we're gonna become after he make us that threshing instrument.
For with thee will I break in pieces the nations,
Right. That's blunt.
and with thee I will destroy kingdoms.
Exactly.
And with thee I will break in pieces the horse and his rider.
Mm-hmm. And tanks, helicopters, and so forth. Keep on 25.
And with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider.
Right, that mean them helicopters and the F-16.
With thee also will I break in pieces men and women,
Right, so the women that's in the army and so forth getting it too and the men.
and with thee will I break in pieces old and young.
Right, kids getting it and old people.
And with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid.
Exactly, everybody.
I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock.
Right,
And with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. And with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers.
yeah.
And I will render unto Babylon and
This is America, go ahead.
to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord. Which
Now that's it.
Okay.
So with that, I'm going to say shalom,
Shalom.
and death to the 2/3 and Yehovah Hashem, Yahweh Shah. And
Barak
that's the
Atah.
lesson on us having spiritual power and coming at you nation in the near field.